catches, puts up a three. One go. Rebound box.
Now head over in this direction. Gone to three.
Tie game with 5 seconds remaining. The impossible has happened.
Pass is intercepted at the goal line by Malcolm Butler.
Anthony for three. Puts it in. Bridges. Oh my God. Oh, what? Oh, blocked by James. LeBron James with the rejection. Curry way downtown. Bang! Bang!
We are back after a long break. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Cam's Corner. Very happy to be joined today by Rhode Island College second baseman, Cal Parrillo. Cal, how have you been, man? What's going on? How's the season been?
I've been good. The season's been good. We've been doing well, having some success. So that's a good. We just won our first 2 conference games yesterday, so that was a nice win to have. A couple wins to have.
Of course, yeah. No, it's some viewers watching, may not know this, but we actually grew up together on the basketball court. Cal, a very versatile athlete, playing many different sports. How many sports did you actually play in your youth, like your youth days?
So I played 3. I played soccer, basketball, and baseball growing up. Yep, all 3. Did play travel ball pretty much for all 3 of them. So
yeah, and having the chance to call your games, at Rick, not being able to, my freshman year due to the COVID thing, I wasn't able to get as heavily involved as I am now. But it's so surreal to see you in your element out there on the field. The speed you've carried over with you over the years, that lateral quickness you passed on throughout the basketball days. Everyone knows that's the secret to that lateral quickness, playing basketball in AAU. But on a serious note, what sports did you enjoy playing the most throughout those years? Because I know basketball and baseball kind of like your main sports, but what was your favorite sport out of the 3?
Yeah, so I mostly basketball and baseball were my main. I was drawn mainly to those sports. Soccer, I just kind of played my whole life, so that just kind of kept me in shape, and it was really just to keep me in shape going through the basketball season and then baseball. But I really played a lot of basketball through middle school area when I played with you. In Johnston, we played a lot. And then kind of freshman year at high school, played basketball. And then about sophomore year at high school, I kind of switched over to just mainly focusing on baseball. Right.
Yeah. Like you said, mainly focusing on it in high school. Obviously still at a young age in middle school, playing as many sports as you could, staying as busy as possible. But how did you, basketball, of course, you stuck with it in high school. How did you, still stick with basketball, knowing that baseball is kind of probably going to get you the farthest in your athletic career?
Basketball, I loved basketball. It was so much, we had so much fun playing basketball. So that was really something I knew I wanted to, play basketball. I still miss it a little bit, but again, it was just fun to play, and really just the cardio and just the, the athletic, my speed. I wouldn't consider myself super fast, but for someone at my size, I can move pretty well, I think. And that's mostly due to, that basketball background of just, again, running up and down in the gym. Those are some brutal practices, but it's really helped in the long run, I think.
Yeah, of course. You can't forget it. It sticks with you, till this day. So playing with a bunch of teams like you did and how we did, travel and everything like that. Who have been some of the coaches that have been true mentors to you? It could have been baseball coaches, basketball coaches, soccer coaches that have really shaped you as an athlete. Because I know for me, Coach Missoula, all those guys in travel. So for you, who are those coaches for you?
I've had so many great coaches. I've been really, really lucky. With baseball, I honestly started off with Coach Bill Cleasis in baseball. My Reds, I played for the Rhode Island Reds early, and again, he was just really a great influence. He was really tough on us, but that really helped. And then again, Coach Anthony was also tough on us. So we kind of, from a young age, I kind of learned that just just having to work hard, and really, again, they kind of put a lot of pressure on us, but in the end, I think it really benefits you more than it, you might not realize it at the time, but it definitely benefits you in the long run. And my dad too, he's coached baseball all throughout my whole life, and he's really been a big influence. Coach Vigent at Rick, I've been with him since sophomore year of high school. I was hitting with him. He was my hitting coach. And then again, I ended up going to Rick, and he's been the hitting coach at Rick. And so he's really helped me develop as a hitter.
Of course.
And those are some of the main ones. Like I said, there's so many more that I probably left out, but those are.
I know, like you said, like we've played for like a plentiful amount of like AAU teams, travel teams, high school, middle school, all those kinds of teams, and like you've been coached by, a plentiful amount of those guys. Do you feel like playing for those many teams and meeting all those new coaches and staffs like helped you, like I said, become the athlete you are today? Or do you feel like if you were to stay with like one team, maybe you would have, like, do you feel like, meeting those more, like having more connections just made you a better athlete?
No, I definitely think that
Mm-hmm.
because it's having the different coaches that, well, they all have different knowledge,
Right, yeah, of
there's a
course.
plethora of knowledge between all of them, but
Yeah.
not only that, but their coaching styles are so different.
Mhm.
And I feel like the more coaches you get, the more coaching styles you get, and it's easier to adjust and kind of take in coaching. It's easier again to take in that coaching when you've seen lots of styles, and you can it's easier to absorb information. And really that's the name of the game, just absorbing as much information, learning as much as I possibly can, just kind of really being a student of the game. It's kind of cliche, but it's really what you just have to do.
Right. No, I completely agree. And then I know you have an older brother as well. Of course, I know he played sports as well. Was he kind of like a role model for you as well growing up?
Well, he was definitely. I mean, I always want to be like, you always want to be like your older brother.
Yeah,
He was he was a great athlete.
Mhm.
He stopped playing at the high school level at all the sports, but he played mostly soccer and baseball. And again, it was just that more difficult competition, I think, really helps out. Again, I'm 2 years younger, and I have to try to play at the level that he's at.
Yeah.
And so I think that just really helps you develop. Again, just always being challenged and always having that kind of competitive, that urge, that drive to kind of just be better than you are right now and be the best that you can be.
Yeah, definitely. So he actually didn't play at the college level.
No, he ended up, he's extremely smart, and he actually got a full ride to Georgia Tech. So
Wow.
So he's again,
doing his thing up there. Yeah, good for him, man. Wow, that's cool. So like now, kind of getting to the high school scene now, starting at Ponaganset, your freshman year basketball season. Stepping onto the court like your first time in high school, before baseball, obviously, because baseball's in the spring. What was your mindset as a freshman after the preparation? Going back to like our travel days and stuff like that.
I mean, I just love playing, and
Yeah.
I think I just wanted to do I want to try to fill in a role, especially in basketball. Is more my specialty was kind of defense, so I was
Right, of course,
defensively, and I really just, especially as a freshman, it's like as long as I filled that role. We had a lot of, we had a couple seniors that were really good. Again, they could score really well, and so I just need to make sure that I was really good, and again, defensively, and in that really just put myself in position to play as much as possible and really just help the team in any way I could.
Yeah, of course. So like, how would you define like, your 4 years playing like basketball there? And, we played, we were Division III my last 2 years. So our junior and senior year, that's when we made that transition over to D3. So playing you guys at Ponaganset our senior year, that was really cool, to face up against you. So how would you sum up your basketball career at Ponaganset?
I mean, overall, I think it was good. I had a good, career. Like I said, I love basketball. I mean, I always loved basketball.
Right.
And for me, realistically, one of the main reasons why I chose baseball, it wasn't, I liked them kind of the same. So it wasn't like I liked one more than the other. It was just my strength in baseball's offense and my strength in basketball's defense. And I felt that offensively, that could kind of take me further than, than defense and basketball, because realistically, those aren't really the stats that matter in basketball. So, defense isn't really, as high, or really doesn't matter as much. And I think for baseball, that was kind of the right choice, where my offense, I felt more confident offensively. But as in terms of, I mean, I had a great experience. I was fortunate enough to play all 4 years, and we had some great, just the connections, and it was just fun playing, especially when we played you guys. I knew almost all the guys in the team, so we definitely had some fun. And you guys, I think you guys beat us a few times. So
we were our senior year, we had like just a great team because of how many seniors we had. Like, like you played with all of us, like in travel, AAU, and there was like 10 of us, you know what I mean? So like when we, like the early stages, when we were Division II and we were sophomores, it was like, there's all 10 sophomore, there's one senior. So that's why we weren't as great, then obviously senior year, we just had that connection. We still had that chemistry and stuff. So, and again, like just playing up against you and playing up against people that we've played together, I feel like those are the best experiences, and those are the best times in youth sports for sure. And in high school and everything like that. But as far as you, like athletically, and still in the high school scene, like transitioning over from basketball to baseball, how did you, use the skills and like the mindsets that you have on the court and transition that over to your play on the field for baseball?
Yeah, I mean, so yeah, baseball and basketball are very, very different sports
Different,
mentally.
of course, right? Yeah.
And again, just the pace of the game.
Yeah.
I don't want to say it's easy for baseball, but it's a lot slower. Whereas you kind of, the difficulty is kind of staying focused play by play. Whereas basketball is again a lot more. It's constant motion and activity. But again, my mindset, I mean, it just helped, being in those situations and just being in, those like playoff games and those kind of high pressure, I'd consider them maybe high pressure situations. The more you're in them, the more you get comfortable with them. And I think that really helps with baseball when, again, you're put in situations and you just, again, being able to come through for your teammates and kind of not letting the pressure get to you. I think that really helps. Yeah,
definitely. And like you're the first baseball player I've actually like been able to have the chance and like sat down with and like talking with like football players, obviously basketball players as well. Like mainly the football players tell me like just having that background of playing different sports, it just and then sticking with their main sport and like either football or basketball, whatever it is, like those lessons, those skill sets and everything that they've learned, just like you said, shaped them into the athlete that they are. So I feel like, you having that background is just, it's very beneficial to like your play now at Rick. But going back to like Ponaganset, like, was there a JV team or was it just like, were you guys just one big varsity team like your 4 years there?
So there's a JV team. Yep, we had a JV team. I was on varsity all 4 of those years, all 4 of my years at Ponaganset. So I was fortunate enough to have that opportunity.
Right.
And again, we had a lot of success too. I was able, guys like, again, Billy Butler, my brother, they were older guys. We had a great, Christy Petrillo. There's a whole number of guys that were older that really, really helped develop me as a baseball player. And I really learned a lot from. And that was a really good experience. And being coached, my dad's the coach of the high school team, so that was a really, really cool experience. We won a championship with him and my brother, so that was really cool.
Wow, yeah. So wow, I didn't even know that. Well, I knew your dad was the coach, but I didn't know you actually played with your brother too. That's kind of, how was it like sharing the field with him? Like your time, because I know you said you're 2 years younger than him.
So yeah, it was really fun. So he was at second base, I was at first base, so we were kind of on that right side of the infield together, which was a fun experience. And it was just, again, it was cool, all 3 of, me, Ty, my brother, and my dad, just all on the field. It was a pretty, it's something that we'll probably remember for the rest of our lives. And it was pretty cool. Again, especially playing at McCoy. We played at McCoy Stadium, and that's where the championship was. And it was just it was a really cool experience.
Yeah, definitely. And so, yeah, like that's basically like to sum up like your high school career. Like, how did you kind of adjust to the game coming in freshman year, and then like looking back on it your senior year? Like, how did the pace of the game, not the pace of the game, but how did it feel for you, looking back on your senior year?
Well, freshman, the great thing about the team we had was we had so many guys, good players. My freshman year, I wasn't like, not to say I didn't have to do much, but I was, lower in the lineup. I was really just a low, again, just low pressure. There wasn't really much expected of me. And I just, did the best that I can. And again, as I kind of got older, I kind of got more and more responsibility and more, and again, I got better too as a player, I think. And again, the game just kind of seems to slow down. It's funny, when you're a freshman, it seems, again, it seems difficult. Right. You're facing these guys and they're throwing harder and everything's faster. And then you get older and you get used to it and you see it more, and you're able to adjust. And so, yeah. Yeah. So like once, your junior, senior years came around, when did like you feel like college started kind of showing interest in you? So junior year is really where I made a pretty big leap from my sophomore year to my junior year. I felt as a hitter. That's when I started again working with Coach Vision on my hitting, and really just again, I always had a good contact, and I was always a good contact hitter. But with my size, I really felt I could get a little more power on it. And so that's what we worked on, again, using more of my body. And in baseball, hitting's all with your legs. That's where all your power comes from, because that's where the strength in your body is. So same thing with shooting basketball. When you shoot with your legs. So I really worked on that and from that, I was able to develop into more of a power hitter. And that's really when, again, I started looking more at playing in college, and and I ended up again playing Coach Holbrook. Again, he's he's been building a great program here at Rick, and I really felt that was the place for me.
Yeah. So like when you're preparing, obviously getting more looks your junior year, and then obviously our senior year was cut short because of COVID and everything. Were there any like travel teams or like collegiate showcases that you like were you participated in to get your name out there more?
I really didn't. I think looking back, I probably could have done more, but again, you really don't know. I mean, at least I didn't. You don't really know the showcases and the things that are out there. So so I went to the Rick. Rick has a little showcase that they do. But like I said, I really didn't reach out that much. Like I said, looking back, I probably could have, but again, I think it all worked out. So I'm glad.
No, yeah, definitely for sure. Yeah. Striving right now this year, and like last year, of course, was tough with COVID. That was like the first, your first official year was kind of like all over the place. Like going back a little bit further than that, like how did you choose Rick? Mainly with like the restrictions and like how sports were being shut down and modified like that. How did you like come to the decision that you wanted to go to Rick?
Well, I mean, that was all before. So I actually,
so that was before COVID. You already made your decision.
Yeah, I already made my decision to Rick before COVID, before that all happened. But again, I've wanted to study to be a teacher. I felt that was where I wanted to go, and Rick is really, I mean, there's not really, you can't really get much better with Rick in that sense. So I knew. Again, I knew that was already on my radar. And then after meeting Coach Holbrook and seeing the program, I knew that was the right decision.
Right. So education kind of played a big role in it as well. And of course, having a great baseball program, that definitely, full circle, everything like that. But yeah, like I said, so going back into like the COVID season, did you know you were going to have a season, or if like what was going to happen, or what was your mindset during that time?
I mean, we were confident that we would have a season. We felt really, especially with baseball, you're outside, and at that point, I think COVID was kind of getting better-ish before, kind of got worse later last year. But in that spring, seemed like it was dying down a little bit.
Yeah, but, definitely.
But again, we thought we'd be playing, and I mean, we wanted to have the mindset that we're playing. We didn't want to change anything because of COVID. So we worked just as hard as we would have on a normal season. So that was again, that was just something. Again, it's just our mindset was that we were playing, and that's what we're fortunate enough to be able to play. So.
Exactly. Yeah. Fortunate enough to be able to play. Like I've talked with a lot of athletes, and the big thing they always emphasized was how hard it was to get through that season, because now this is like right now, this is the first official year since the COVID season. So far, it's been, for you guys, a great start, and like, for the rest of the colleges and pro sports, but like being, going back to last year, what was it like? How was the season? Like, how did it pan out for you guys? Like, how was, play on the field? Were there fans? Like, how was it for you guys?
Yep. So we had no fans. Later for like playoffs, they were allowing, I think, 2 fans per person. It was very limited though. Towards the end, but pretty much the whole season there was no fans. And I thought we had a pretty good season. We're tied for second in our conference in the regular season. We ended up losing to Southern Maine, and who ended up winning the whole thing. So we were right there, right on the edge. Competitive with those top teams. So overall, I thought it was a good season, a productive season, and something we definitely could build off of, and I think we have so far this year.
Yeah, of course, this year definitely, and it's like your freshman year. How did you work your way into the lineup, and how did you work your way, into building chemistry with like new teammates and people you haven't seen before? So we I reached out to Coach Holbrook the summer before to see if I could get on a summer team, and play with some of the guys. So I played Joey Coro. Yep.
His kind of dad, and they run a summer team with a lot of the Rick guys. So I got an opportunity to play on that team, which was really helpful because I had already, by the time I was in school, I had already been comfortable with some of the guys and been playing with them. So that was really helpful. But and we just working hard, really just through the whole off season, and just hitting and doing everything I can to get better. And once you get an opportunity in the field, just not to waste it, just to do the best you can, and really, again, put your best foot forward, and again, and make most of the opportunity, and it works out.
Yeah, of course. Like, so that summer, going into freshman year, that's how you prepared for, your first year of college. Now, after that was over, and, like you said, Southern Maine won the whole thing. What was it like going into now this season? for like preparation and things like that? Like, was it kind of, somewhat similar to like the freshman process, or was it different knowing that you were going to have a full season, it was going to be back to regulation and things like that?
Yeah, it was definitely different. I had a different mindset, definitely since
Right.
from the summer. I had this past summer I had a really again incredible opportunity to play for the Newport Gulls. Ended up starting with them as a temp and ended up making the most of my opportunity and staying with them for the whole season. And so that's a collegiate summer team that there's a lot of, they have a lot of D1 guys that play in that league. It's called the NECBL. And there was guys from like Vanderbilt, and which Vanderbilt was one of the top D1 teams in the country. URI guys, Penn State, Pitt, again, a bunch of these really good teams, and I felt I competed well, but there was definitely some things I saw, some flaws in my game that I really need to work on, especially defensively and weight wise. I needed to drop some weight and really get my body into better physical shape to prepare for the season. And I worked hard in the off season to do that, and I think it's been paying off well.
Yeah, for sure. And like you said, during that collegiate, summer team you played for in Newport, was it, were there any coaches kind of like reaching out to you? Did you get any more like kind of interest in that way? Or was it kind of just like, this is kind of just for me to get better as an athlete and prepare for next season?
Yeah, no, definitely. It was just, again, to get better and prepare. Like I said, there was really, and there's some older guys on that team that just had a really good influence. My friend, Bryce Hewlett, he was he goes to Pitt. He was another first baseman with me, and he really just, again, he helped me a lot. And just, again, the mindset, and really, again, just working on, just the whole package, really just kind of trying to make yourself as dynamic as a player, trying to be good in all assets of the game. Hitting, I always felt confident as a hitter, but defensively and speed wise, I've been really working on my speed in the off season. And those are a couple things, again, that I really think have helped me this season.
Yeah, definitely a ton of avenues to like, make yourself the best athlete you can possibly be. And that's, what you got to do. You got to reach out to these teams and get as many opportunities, like you said, because that's at the end of the day going to make you the best athlete possible. And like playing with all these guys, have like the connections you've made with like different teammates, has that helped you as well? Like I said, going back to like, coaching and all the mentors that you've had, has your different teammates that you've had over the years helped you become the athlete you are today as well?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Especially from a competitive aspect, and just being able to compete and just see other guys compete is really, again, it's almost like, again, you can almost copy, and again, like, what do they say? I don't know, but like just copying them. I was trying to think. There's something that people say, something like copying is the most sincere form of flattery or something like that. But it really is just being able to, try to mimic what some of these guys that have experienced success, try to just mimic what they do, see their day to day, that's really been, again, a pleasure and a privilege to be able to see that and kind of try to improve my own game based on that.
Of course.
And so, yeah, and it's pretty cool too, playing with a bunch of guys from different colleges. You kind of follow up on their stats and watch some of their games, kind of have guys to root for around the country. So that's also a pretty cool thing.
For sure.
Experience this year.
Definitely. And like, someone like David Anachili coming from Johnson, you grew up with him like since you were a little kid, you know what I mean? These people like that. Is there anybody on the team now that you grew up with, like, similar to David, or like that you've had that connection with since you were in your youth days?
I think, Dave's probably the youngest one. We went to elementary school together. I've known him since I was probably 6 years old. We've been playing played Little League together all the way through. You've been, again, we're good friends. Or we still are good friends. And again, playing with them. Lucas Pierce, he went to Ponaganset, so I've been playing with him for a while too. Again, it's been real fun, playing with those guys and kind of just having that history and that background, and just, sometimes just, talking about when we were younger and just kind of reminiscing about some of the old memories and some of the teams that we used to play for. It's really fun. And again, it's really been a good experience. Yeah,
definitely. Does that chemistry, like once you guys are on the field all together at the same time, does that help you guys perform, better, like defensively in the field?
I mean, I definitely think it does. I feel like we're just on the same page.
Yeah,
it's like we were just like, when you've been playing with guys like that for so long, especially, again, really good players like like Lucas and Dave, you just kind of like know it's hard to explain. It's
right. You learn from them. You learn from them too. Yeah.
It's similar, basketball. I used to feel kind of like that, where it's like when you play with guys for a while, I'm sure, you know how it is, where it's like you just kind of like know what they're going to be doing. Right. And you can kind of, it's pretty
Yeah.
cool when you're both on the same page, you make a play and it's like that. And it's so yeah, it's pretty fun when that happens.
Yeah, it's definitely eye-opening to see that. And it's couldn't be more happy for you guys to be joining the field and having a great season that you guys have started off to. But like, starting off this season, like how have you been feeling so far? Like this how's the season been going through, and like how did it start off in Florida? How was that experience for you guys?
Florida, we had a lot of fun in Florida. It was really cool. We little rocky start, but that was pretty we expected that just because we hadn't really been on the field. So we're inside the whole time, and all of a sudden, it's 32 degrees and we're hitting inside with our jackets on, and then all of a sudden it's 88 and we're out on the field playing. So it was first couple of games were a little bit slow. I definitely had a slow start. I went 0 for my first 11, so that but
definitely picked it up after that. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Well, again, yeah, that's just, I was, fortunate to have, again, coaches and all my teammates. They, there wasn't really any doubt. I didn't feel that they had any doubt. They were just, again, supported me the whole way through. And I was glad I was able to end up coming through for him, and, been having some success.
Yeah, of course. And like, since you guys came back, after you guys came back, you guys have tied, and, had a tough loss against Salve Regina, but, still like close, like the whole way through. But besides that, you guys have been like dominating, like through teams. Like what's your mindset been stepping up to the plate so far? And like, what has your guys' like game plan been for these teams?
I mean, one of the great things about our team is there's so many guys that are good. I feel like when I get up to the plate,
many power hitters. Yeah.
Like exactly, like when I get up to the plate, it's just, I don't want to say it doesn't matter what I do, but I know there's like incredible hitters behind me. So I can just, whatever I do, I know, again, whether I'm successful or I'm not, it's like those guys are going to, be able to pick me up. And I feel like I've been able to do the same thing for the guys in front of me. And everybody just hits, we just do our best to hit all the way through. And again, it's a lot, I think it's definitely easier to hit when like there's no holes in the lineup, where like the pitcher, he's got to throw his best stuff to every single guy, because we're just, again, we've just been hitting very, very well. And it's really been crazy to see. Sometimes you just, take a peek at the stats, and it's I mean, it's just all the way through the lineup. It's, you can't even really look at one guy, because you're just looking at everybody, and it's crazy. It's just spread out, all the hits, like everything's just spread out right through the team. So it's been fun.
Just so crazy. Like, like back to back doubleheader, like 21 runs, 15 runs. Like, it's so cool to see you guys like just clicking and, having that success early on in the season. And like, one of your teammates at I think Joey Coral, like, you guys are like tied like in the top of the Little East for like home runs, RBIs. So, and you're killing it at second base too. Like I said earlier, that lateral quickness, that speed, that all started running basketball suicides every practice, and, being that lockdown defender that you were. But, to close out, you guys now like 8-4-1 on the season. You guys play Tuesday, March 29th. So like I've asked, you in post game before, what are you guys looking to, continue in practice, and, what's the game plan for Johnson and Wales?
Yeah. So I think the game plan, and that's just something we've been emphasizing all season, just to kind of stay level. So don't get, try not to get too high up or too low, just trying to stay as even as possible. Again, when we, had that tough loss to Salve, we came right back the next day and ended up putting good, a good game together. So that's really, again, just not just staying even, trying to, again, just keep doing what we do. And again, just do the best that we can. And I think the results will be positive with the team that we have. So,
yeah, definitely. And I'll be up in the booth making the best calls I can. But that kind of wraps up, our time here today, Cal. I appreciate you taking the time and, joining me on the show, man. But my last question, kind of wrap everything up, is what'd you think of the show, and like who might you want to see as a future guest?
I love the show. I've been, following the show, listening on. I love, hearing guys, that we grew up playing against them, and it's great to see their success in college sports. As for people, like I said, I mean, I love getting baseball players on, and that's always definitely a good thing to love baseball. And again, just guys that we played with. I can't really think of anyone specifically, but
I'm definitely gonna try to keep like getting like a variety of athletes. Like I've only had like basketball and football. Now you're my first baseball person. I'm trying to get in touch with some soccer athletes. I know this kid that went to Cranston West, he's actually playing right now with the New England Revolution, so I'm trying to reach out to him.
Oh, wow.
So a lot of people that have been doing great things in in the athletic aspect, like yourself. And like I said, I appreciate your time, and I'll see you Tuesday when you guys play Johnson Wales, man. So again, appreciate the time, man, so much.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate your time too. Keep doing what you're doing. You're working hard. I love listening to it. So again, keep going with that.
Appreciate it, man.
All
Thank
right.
you. I'll see you soon.
Yep. Thank you.